super solves, and it's 5 lights. And it's lights out in Azerbaijan, and away we go, and it looks like a normal fine getaway. That's an HWA almost in the wall. Very good start from Benby. Look at that. Getting like 4 positions inside of turn 1. Spicy still regains the lead. That's a side-by-side battle between Mr. Joe and the ART of Flying Jippo. I'm not sure, but Spicy anyway still in the lead. Timbit right on his tail. And behind them, that's going to be Mr. Joe and Jippo in a battle. Behind them also Benby in a battle with the HWA of Giza. Right behind them, the Carlin of Jonesy. Very close battling there. Benby loses a position to him. Maybe also going to lose a position to the Carlin. They're side by side, actually into those 2 corners, and Benby loses another position and another one to Deming Boy this time out. So Benby had a very good start, and then it lost so many positions in the process. Timbit gained 2 positions off the start. Flying Jippo dropped 1, and Mr. Joe also dropped 1. So that's the situation at the front. As Giza actually got off to a fine start as well, as we have blue flags flashing for some reason. Hubert all the way down in last place, so is Peril Gaming Action and Mr. Aggressive. So the 2 Tridents not off to a good start, and the Univirtuosis as well. So it's going to be a mixed up grid as is usual around here. We have 15 laps of the race, and look at that, Spicy is immediately in the wall, so that's some front wing damage there. And that's him in a very difficult spot strategy-wise. And so Timbit is going to gain the lead as Spicy is going to go into the pit lane very early on in the race. Not having the best time right now is because he's on the mediums. And Spicy changed his tire compound to the medium as well, probably going to the end. That's gonna hurt him at the end of the race, but for the time being at least. He's probably gonna get some positions back. In other news also, Giza overtook Flying... No, never mind, what's happening to the screen? Okay, so Denny Boy got up to 5th. And so the ARTs are back with some good amount of points yet again. So yeah, the ART dominance is soon to continue if people at the front fail just like Spicy failed. It's just the middle of the pack being all yeah, very messed up at this point. Fortunately, oh my god, as immediately after I look at the Univirtuosi of Benby, he's out after a collision with Jones. Oh my. So we have a virtual safety car immediately. There was a battle between Benby and Jonesy, which forced Benby into the wall, smashing his tire, and Jonesy probably got only a small amount of damage. So that's the feature race over for one of the Univirtuosis. Thrown into the mix. I wasn't expecting anything else from a race like Baku, and this incident shuffled up the grid even more, but Timbit and Mr. Joe still in a small train of cars, and it looks like the second train of... Oh, that's a front wing end plate falling off. I don't know from who that was. It looks like it's gonna be from Timbit. Yeah, Timbit does have damage, and immediately he gets overtaken, and even further amount of damage as he's pulling into the pit lane. Unfortunate for him, but Mr. Joe was overtaking him in the inside where the pit lane entry was. So Timbit is forced into the pit lane just like Spicy was, getting damage at the same spot exactly. Hubert finally in a move, and it looks like he touched the wall there, so he was very ambitious going into turn 3, but finally some sort of action happening between Spicy and Hubert. Hubert finally having enough and trying to dive Spicy, but the damage is limiting the both of them. As the big picture is concerned, Mr. Joe finally coming into the pit lane. He has a lead of 32 seconds. Question is, how fast will the pit stop be? And he gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not what you want. That's not a penalty that will get revoked. So, unfortunately to everyone, yeah, we will not be seeing something other than an ART dominance today, with the biggest probability. So, nice result from Mr. Joe. Let's see if he can keep that going into the sprint race. And we have a safety car, so I called out someone else having a good day, and the ART is back in contention. Someone else swoop in, so a very late safety car with 3 laps left. I'm not sure if the safety car will actually be even going for 2 laps. And this is gonna crack the race wide open, so the advantage that the Mr. Joe was building up towards. Is that Flying Jippo having multiple drive-throughs? Apparently only has one, but it keeps popping off at my screen like there's more. So let's see if Mr. Joe will pull into the pit lane. He won't, and Flying Jippo is out. Okay. So Flying Jippo is out of the race for speeding under the safety car so much. Is immediately in this lap, so we're gonna have only 2 laps of racing, and only the 3 drivers that actually caught up the safety car will be actually racing. Fast is too far away to catch, but probably will pick up the pieces if these 3 collide somehow. So here we go. Giza gets a 5-second penalty. That's a very nice start towards the end of the race. That's what you want. Mr. Joe restarting the race with his super softs. And so we're gonna be restarting the race. If Mr. Joe doesn't get dive bomb, it's very likely that he will win the race anyway. But Fast has finally caught up to the queue, and Emerald Oscar is not that far as well. So he's really gonna be waiting for the pieces to come to him, and some nice results will eventually come. Fast is the only person without a penalty, so still very promising result on the rise. DRS isn't enabled and probably won't be for the rest of the race, so if you are not within the slipstream range, you have no chance of overtaking anyway. If there aren't some weird disconnections or collisions happening. So the grid looks like it's gonna stay the same for a while, but Mr. Joe is building an enormous gap right off the bat, 1.2 seconds. So he is absolutely smashing the tire differences, and Mr. Joe is going for the win whether everyone likes it or not. But from the feature race, Mr. Joe sets the fastest lap without a doubt, the fastest driver on track, but time is running out for him. And if Fast just stays within sight of Peril and Giza, he just doesn't need to bend the car. He's gonna get at least P2. I highly doubt that he's gonna get P1 because the base isn't there and he has some damage, but at least a nice podium for Univirtuosi after disappointing end to Ben B's result chances. But the penalties will shuffle the grid even more, so Mr. Joe crosses the line in a very convincing race. Very convincing drive for him, and he does get P1. P2 goes into Fast, as I was predicting, so a very nice result for the Univirtuosi. Then it's Payroll, the replacement for the Dams, so they get some nice points. ART get none, as Giza falls down to P5, so he dropped 3 positions. Kind of disappointing. And Oscar P4. And so Mr. Joe will be starting P8 in the sprint race, so not the best starting position for him, but nothing he can handle. He can't handle, apparently. He was involved in multiple carnages in France as well. got himself out of there pretty well.